It's a beautiful good morning and a warm welcome to Camnet TV Breakfast Show. Your host, I am Kapitula Afias, and hope you're having a good morning and be part of this breakfast show. Ensure you also let other people know that Camnet TV Breakfast Show is live as we entertain as well as educate each other this morning, as well as updating ourselves as far as stories that we aired yesterday. Today we'll talk business, and later we're going to have someone who's going to join us, help us discuss entrepreneurship and also innovation. This gentleman, he has invented something, and we're going to be talking more when he joins us on the set. Right about now, let's hear what the doctor has to say.
Hi, good morning and welcome to the Health Corner here on the Breakfast Show. I am Dr. Nakuyana Mfaya. So this week we have been talking about fibroids, and it's a very common condition that many women are faced with. So we discussed what are fibroids, and we say that fibroids are benign tumors that grow inside the uterus and around the uterus. And these fibroids can cause certain symptoms, and these symptoms include menorrhagia, which is heavy menstrual bleeding, where you bleed more than usual, and also they can cause metorrhagia, which is having periods at irregular intervals in different months. Then you can also have very painful periods, and also you can experience pain during sexual intercourse. Sometimes if the fibroids are very big, you might start looking like you are pregnant because of the size of the uterus, because the size of the uterus will also increase. Then we also discussed how it's diagnosed in the hospital. We say that a scan needs to be done to be able to show if there are fibroids in the uterus, and also show where the fibroids are located. It can also be treated through myomectomy, where the fibroids are removed from the uterus. And in some cases, they might need to remove the whole uterus because maybe the fibroids are too big, or they are causing certain complications, and they need to be removed. So they might remove the whole uterus to be able to preserve the patient's life. So now today we will discuss what are some of the complications of fibroids, and also how you can prevent yourself from getting fibroids. So one of the complications, or the major complications, is that these fibroids can grow back. So once they are removed, once you do a myomectomy where the fibroids are removed, then the fibroids will be able to grow back again after some years or even months. So most of the times they would grow back again. Then the other complication is that they might have problems carrying a child. So they might experience miscarriages, where the person gets pregnant, but because there's fibroids, or there are fibroids in the uterus, then the pregnancy is lost because the child or the baby can't implant or can't stay inside the uterus, and so the person will end up experiencing a miscarriage. So that is one of the other complications as well. Then people with fibroids may also experience very pain during pregnancy, and this is because if the woman gets pregnant and the baby is growing, they produce more hormones of estrogen. They produce more estrogen, more progesterone, and these fibroids are very receptive. They have receptors for estrogen, and so when the estrogen is increased, they also start increasing in size. And so because of that, the mother will experience pain during the pregnancy, and also the fibroids themselves will grow in size. And so that is one of the other complications that people with fibroids may experience. So the other complication is that if the fibroids are too big, then they will end up losing or they'll end up removing the whole uterus, and that would mean that the woman cannot conceive again because the uterus has been removed. And so that's a major complication for people who have fibroids. So how can you prevent yourself from having fibroids? So one of the things that you can do is to control your diet, because your diet plays a major role in helping you to stay healthy and to even prevent fibroids. So avoiding foods that have saturated fats, such as red meats, beef, pork, and even processed meats, they have more saturated fats. And so if you avoid these foods and try to eat more foods that have greeny vegetables and have more fiber, then you'll be reducing your risk of having fibroids. And also, to prevent yourself from getting complications, you can make sure that you check yourself, make sure that you get a scan early, so that you the fibroids are able to be diagnosed at a very early age, a very early stage, and get better treatment, because that way the fibroids can be removed and the uterus can be preserved. So these are some of the ways that you can prevent yourself from getting fibroids and also prevent yourself from getting complications from fibroids. I do hope you have learned something. Make sure that you watch the other videos that we have made on health related topics and even on fibroids as well. You can find the videos on my YouTube channel at Dr. Nakuyana Mfaya, and you can also watch them on The Breakfast Show here on Camnet TV and also on Facebook on Camnet TV. So I do hope you have learned something this week. Make sure you watch again next week, and stay blessed and stay healthy.
That was our health corner there, where Dr. Nakuyana Mfaya is talking about complications and preventions of fibroid. Hope you have picked one or two things. Moving on, let's check our money markets for this morning. The United States dollar is buying at 26.71 ngwe, selling at 27.23 ngwe. The euro is buying at 28.72 ngwe and selling at 29.28 ngwe. The South African rand is buying at 1.41 ngwe and selling at 1.43 ngwe. The Great British Pound is buying at 33 kwacha 63 ngwe, selling at 34 kwacha to 9 ngwe. That is our money markets this morning. And let me just welcome. Morning,
Mr. Kapula. How are you?
I'm okay. Welcome.
Thank you. What's that look about?
No, I'm welcoming you. I'm excited you are part of the show this morning.
Sure.
And also our viewers, they're excited to see you this morning, because we're usually at bed.
Oh yeah, I suppose so.
How is your morning otherwise?
Yeah, so. But let me say this. I think last week when we had young drivers protesting, and I think they are showing it in action now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because I tried to book young and 2 of them had to ask me how much is it showing, and then when I told them, no, cancel.
Wow.
Yeah, I was like, okay.
I think a little later we're going to be talking about the online taxi business and how it can be enhanced, and also how Zambians can come up themselves with such platforms. However, right now we are moving into zooming of headlines, the stories that were in the news last night. You can also be part of this program by commenting using the numbers on the screens as far as the stories are zooming in are concerned. The first story with me here is that some parents and guardians in Osaka's Mtendere township of Nari constituency have welcomed the opening of schools with mixed feelings. Those spoken to by Camnet News expressed their concerns about the availability of water in some schools within the area, citing existing challenge of water. Let's get into that story.
Since October 2023, the country has been recording alarming numbers of cholera cases countrywide, which subsequently pushed the government to introduce preventive measures such as restrictions during funerals of the cholera victim. On 24th January 2024, government postponed further the reopening of schools from 29th January 2024 to 12 February 2024 owing to the increase in the number of cholera cases which were being recorded. Now that cases of cholera have begun to dwindle countrywide, the Ministry of Education Wednesday maintained that schools will go ahead and reopen on Monday, 12 February 2024. However, some parents and guardians in Lusaka's Mtendere Township have received the move with mixed concerns.
Okay, ngangaricha bwino basegurira kairwana ngangare tufiko kumkombo na janki ya paka kuli majanki ya mbili maji wawuti every day wanataka about the so nisaka segurira nesika nga pesike ko busy ina mzee yakutambira kolera palasti bana zakara tufiko
have been done, okay, in schools, especially in combos where people, you know what I mean? Look at these kids. You see they do everything. But if everything has been put in perspective, then I'm okay with it. But if they haven't, then please, they should hold on. But everything, if everything is okay, I'm okay with the government for doing that.
Meanwhile, other parents are still skeptical about how schools will maintain hygiene as a measure to contain the spread of the disease in learning facilities owing to the challenges of water that some parts of the country continue to face.
Stizi bakuti ngati vanamangapo matoilet yenangu yavana then maclasses stizi ngati vanamangapo kuti mapama schools vanamangapo kuti maclasses ya baby class because vonse vanatira introduce manje stizi ngati vonse viviriko ngati vazachita bwana so stizi vatamene tiri wari maningi nchakuti matoilets pama private bana ndio ya checkinga kuti vintu vonse vitishape bwino vangasegurira na veve pamande because ngalipoona po ino po private school ba ndo clean ma toilet na ngapo ina yangu toilet ngalipoona hapo hapo
wakati wa kuma toilet wakazisamba kuongela mclass wala pesa kazasamba chani manzi kulibe mkomboni nje kolera imozi na imozi njale ngoti kolera kazipaka koma manzi ya wapase na wana wasegulire maskuzu soza atwateshani wale
nibe mwamuna maona amwe single parent nibo ntale nibe helpa bacha beli kamba na mwana school ai apa so pa mande atafuna chosa transport osika pa intercity kwa kupeta uke kizinga transport mfora 1 pini muli 1 pini basi mwana school nguye na grocery ni plan na nyumba na magroceries hapa nyumba sasa anazingati sipanga sense.
While these concerns are faced, government has assured of strict interventions in ensuring that the disease is combated, especially in learning facilities.
Maintained that the opening date of schools remains Monday, 12 February 2024. May I take this opportunity to assure the parents, guardians, and the country at large that the Ministry of Education through the Directorate of Standards, Assessment and Evaluation, and School Health and Nutrition has been and will continue to conduct school inspections in all the 10 provinces with focus on Lusaka district, which is the epicenter of cholera.
According to the revised school calendar, Term 1 will run from February 12 to April 26, while Term 2 will run from May 6 to August 9, and Term 3 will run from September 2nd to December 6th, 2024. Nelson Zulu for Camnet News, Lusaka.
Those are some concerns by some parents as regards with the opening of schools amidst the cholera outbreak. You can have your say on those stories, on that story that we have just zoomed in. Some concerns right there, but the issue of water is something which is real, and I think government should put in practice what has been promised, the assurance in terms of that the measures have been put in place, and there's going to be a continued monitoring of schools.
Yes, and from Tendera, I think water issues have always been prominent, and their concern is genuine. Because when you go into Tendera right now, the likelihood of you finding a leaking pipe is 95%.
Wow.
Just within maybe 2 streets, you can find a leaking pipe. And for that, I think also the Lusaka water should also move in, because the complaint over time has been when people report to them, they do not respond immediately.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, moving on still on the issue of cholera as well as the opening of schools, government through the Ministry of Health has prohibited the sale of cooked food in schools as an effort to prevent cholera. Minister of Health Sylvia Masevo says the measure is aimed at sustaining the huge gains made in curtailing the spread of the disease. Speaking during a press conference on the cholera situation in the country Thursday, Ms. Masevo says the government will continually monitor schools, and those found wanting will be closed. Meanwhile, the minister has disclosed that 5 people have died from cholera in the last 24 hours, with 167 cases recorded. That was on Thursday. Let's go into that story.
Let us ensure that the vishtumbuas that are being sold in our schools are not allowed at this time, so that we do not have transmission of diseases through vishtumbuas. These are fritters that are being cooked and sold on the streets or nearby classrooms. In the last 24 hours, 167 new cases were reported, compared to 182 cases that were reported yesterday. The good news is that Luapula province, Muchinga province, northern provinces have not recorded any new case of cholera. Sadly, we lost 5 lives to cholera in the last 24 hours, with 2 at the hospital facility and 3 dying in the community.
That is the Minister of Health there, Sylvia Masevo, just disclosing some of the further interventions of safeguarding pupils as schools resume. She did mention there that the sale of foods, especially fritters, around classrooms or near schools are not allowed at this moment to prevent cholera. The minister also disclosed that there are notable gains in terms of recording of cholera cases in the country. It is wow.
I think it's a wow. I think the Ministry of Health should be commended on that one. Reducing from somewhere 200 to 100 plus. I think it's a good move, and it's just a testament of how these people have been working around the clock to ensure that cases reduce. And just to mention this, the minister herself has always been at Hero Stadium.
Yeah.
I think she even moved her office to that site.
It has been a marathon to ensure that the spread is kept.
Yes, but now coming to the measures where she's more like banning the sale of foods or food items near schools. How is that?
Well, it has both sides, but perhaps looking at the current situation where we are, it's better we hold on. And we just hope that also parents, those who have been waiting for the schools to open to resuscitate their businesses, would understand. And also perhaps maybe the council, it is an opportunity as well for the council maybe to engage these people to ensure that perhaps they meet certain standards through the public health department to ensure that when they would want to sell, they put in place standards and everything to ensure that safety is maintained in schools.
And one thing that I can tell you, Vitumbua Farm Street,
There's that saying, of course.
Yeah.
But however, we need to ensure that we put health first, and especially that, you know, pandemics such as the cholera outbreak, they derail in terms of national development, where all the efforts and all the monies are focused
into that area.
Into that area when there are other need areas in the country. Going a bit of politics, some United Party for National Development, UPND youths in Chidabombo district on the Copper Belt have stormed council offices demanding the resignation of the district commissioner. The youth sang songs accusing the district commissioner of doing nothing to uplift their lives. Reacting to the incident Thursday afternoon, UPND National Youth spokesperson Phineas Pumulo has urged the party youths to be law-abiding and avoid behaviors of the Patriotic Front PF youths whilst in government. Mr. Pumulo has however appealed to government officials to keep their doors open to UPND members when they are called upon, as opposed to chasing them in the name of calling them cadres. Let's check this story.
We want to appeal to our youths across the country that let's not go the PF route. The president has made it very clear and he has given guidance. Let's remain the way we were, the way we are, as a united party, as a united youths. Regardless of who commits illegality, illegality is an illegality, and we as a party, we are not going to support that. At the same time, we want to appeal to the district commissioners across the country, to the ministers and PSS, that if our members, they visit your offices, attend to them nicely and give them guidance. All they need, they should feel that they belong to the government, because they suffered for this government where it is today. But we have noticed that there are few individuals that are in a habit of not wanting to receive our party youths in the name of that they are.
You are watching Camnet TV Breakfast Show with me, Afias Kaptula, and Vincent in the studios. Those are just the stories we're zooming in this morning. You can have your say on those stories by utilizing the numbers on the screens. I think these pockets of dissatisfaction, that is not the first one. We have seen a number since the United Party for National Development took over government, where some youths, they are expressing impatience. They're impatient rather with the district commissioners, also some other government officials, in terms of attending to their plight.
No, I was asking my question. What role does a DC play in someone's life to change your life? What has it to do with that? I thought it was supposed to be someone like the councillors, the MPs and whatnot. Yeah, I think so.
No, the district commissioner, they also speak for government. So every citizen, regardless of political party, they can approach the district commissioner's office and make known their concerns, and maybe they want some help from government. The district commissioner at that level, they hold that authority of guiding citizens. But the challenge, like what the United Party for National Development, their youth spokesperson has mentioned, in some cases that the UPND members, especially these youths, they have been tagged as cadres. And when they approach these offices, they are chased. You know, the government, especially President Hakainde Hichilema, has taken the stance to say there's no cadres.
Yes.
So in the name of that, those youths are chased to say they are cadres. Wow, if they are cadres or not, but they are party members and they're also citizens. Perhaps there should be some way of accommodating them, and that is the reaction there from the.
And you know why I was asking that question? those people had to go there violently, first of all, and demanding for the DC to leave because they have failed to improve their he has failed to improve their lives. How so?
No, that one is very unacceptable.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very unacceptable. And like the UPND youth spokesperson has mentioned, we are supposed to be law-abiding, all of us. Yeah, we are not supposed to be going back to some of the things that have been done in the past, which is very correct. Because I think the police they are observing that, because I'm sure they even stormed the council chamber.
Yes.
We can have damage to property, even you can injure someone's
breach of peace, something like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think that should not be accepted.
No, not at all.
It should not be accepted,
not at all.
Regardless of the grievances.
Yeah.
Of an individual, they can have. We should not go that route.
Yeah, I think there are better ways of expressing your grievances. I think they should have approached the DC there and have a conversation with that person why they are not attending to what they want them to attend to. Yeah.
And I think it's also ignorance. Because in a province, there is a district commissioner. You have, as you mentioned, there are councillors.
Yes.
Then you can even go to the province.
You even have part officials to start with.
Even part officials, yes. So I think if the dissatisfaction reaches such levels, you can escalate the issues to other offices.
Yes.
I think even Elisha Matambo, the minister for the Copperbelt province,
yes.
I think he's on the ground and he's able to get some of those views. That should not be accepted.
Not at all.
Yeah, I think from your end you can also zoom some stories as we head towards ushering in the guest.
So I think I'll also get a political story here where Senior Chief Mwataka of the Lunda speaking people Umansawambo in Luapula province has attributed the poverty situation in the country to the tendency of politicians grabbing power from chiefs. The traditional leader says God did not invest authority in politicians, but traditional leaders, as seen in the Bible through Solomon, David, among others. In opposition, Socialist Party President Dr. Fred Membe has pledged to restore authority among chiefs in the country once he forms government.
We don't have millionaires, but twalikwatama minerals epo batampira okuchita mine manganese ni lero amasujirite ni lero, but we can't produce even 1 millionaire muno Luapula. Even the chiefs, you are not millionaires. The rural establishments are not millionaires. You are poor, yet you have all these resources. Impia shireyafi. Shia kui.
Poor by 4.
Within 3 years, Kanavesa, within 3 years of the Socialist Party being in government, the Kazembe royal family, the royal establishment will be a millionaire institution.
So bitungulu shitabikile muri wa politician nabikile mu mfuko namba pala mwalipoka makaku imfumu mwashipoka bashala kwati mweva politician muko at latitude and everything. That's your now village. But if you're safe in land, it's not your route to have. If you're Mwalan, that's your Ngesho, Yavena Zambia, and about to pay on Monday. If you guys get you
Alright, a story there coming from Luapula province. Mr. Kaptula, the ST leader visited the chief there, and one concern that was raised, as you heard, is the issue of power belonging to politicians.
Yeah, I think I can comment on what the chief said. I think that should be taken as a concern because that's his view, which can be debatable. But because he's a leader and he's a traditional leader of that matter, these are the custodians of the land, and that is his feeling. It is incumbent on authorities, which is government, who together with chiefs, they rule on the citizens, to take that into consideration and see on how it can be attended. But I can't comment on the Socialist Party leader. I'm sure he's in a campaign mood.
I think I also wanted to say the same.
He's in the campaign mood, so if you cut it short. He's in a campaign mood as well, where they are by-elections that side.
Yeah.
I think we can just leave it for the public to
and on that one, I wanted to. I saw something on social media where they were saying all the politicians are the same. So probably we should just be using our chiefs as the leaders. Maybe we choose one.
Wow, but we are past on that. We are a political state. And people should continue choosing, and people should continue listening to what these our political parties are saying, and including the government, including what Dr. Mebe was talking about.
And I think what's important is when we are going for elections, let's get to hear what a person has to say, has to offer, than how connected we are. You know, I'm saying this because I think I heard someone on this platform, I guess, where they are saying politicians thrive because of who is around them and what they are what they offer in terms of monetary and whatnot. There's no ideology, something like that.
Yeah, it's very important that also our political system, it needs to mature even as in terms of our citizens, how we look at these issues. We're supposed to be looking at policies. What is the policy this one is offering? What do I align with? But there is this issue of Mushanda Wali.
Yeah, so the one who offers more money is the one who wins.
And that is in a short term. It doesn't have impact even on the general development of the country. It is short term, and it is a wrong way of choosing leaders.
Yeah, I think we need to do away with that.
Yeah.
Okay, so moving on here, we have a story where Lusaka Magistrate Trevor Kasanda has ordered Opposition Patriotic Front faction chairperson for information Emmanuel Mwamba to surrender his passport to the clerk of the court. Now, when the matter came up on Thursday morning, Magistrate Kasanda wrote that the accused to only retrieve it when necessary for authorized travel. This decision comes alongside the court's noteworthy move to revoke a bench warrant previously issued against the accused. This is in a matter where Mr. Mwamba is facing one count of assault on a police officer.
Today, Thursday, 8th of February 2024, the Lusaka Magistrate Court made a ruling ordering Opposition Patriotic Front faction chairperson for information, Emmanuel Mwamba, to surrender his passport. The decision comes amidst an ongoing legal proceeding. Mr. Mwamba appeared before the court in connection to a case in which he is accused of assaulting a police officer. Allegations before court are that Mr. Mwamba, on the 14th of June 2023 in Lusaka, assaulted Detective Inspector Stephen Simwinda, an officer of the Zambia Police Service, while in the line of duty. This morning, when the matter came up, the court deemed it necessary for Mr. Mwamba to surrender his passport to the clerk of court and only to retrieve it when necessary for authorized travel. This measure is taken to ensure compliance with legal proceedings. This decision comes alongside the court's move to revoke a bench warrant previously issued against the accused. The bench warrant, initially intended to compel the accused's appearance, has now been rescinded. In the previous court session, Magistrate Kasanda issued a bench warrant against Mr. Mwamba after he absconded court session. His lawyers had later informed the court that he was abroad attending a conference in the United States of America. The accused apologized this morning and informed the court that after learning of the bench warrant issued against him, he cut his trip short in order to present himself before court. The matter has been adjourned to March 18, 2024. Miriam Kaimba reporting for Camnet TV News.
Right, a story there coming from the courts where PFMCC faction, I must put the faction, although they threaten to swear.
No, I think that's what is obtaining on the ground.
Yeah.
It should be put there.
Yeah, it should. Okay, I think we should move on to a story coming from the Drug Enforcement Commission, where government has launched a national policy on drug and substance control, with a call on families to take a center stage in the fight against all forms of drug and substance abuse. Speaking during the launch in Lusaka Thursday morning, Minister of Home Affairs and Internal Security Jack Mwimbu noted with concern that young people seeking counseling for drug addiction increased from 810 in 2021 to more than 1,000 in 2022.
Drug and substance abuse is a global problem which is affecting the social and economic setups of countries. In 2021, for instance, the estimated number of illegal drug users worldwide was around 296 million. Among these users, 39.5 million could be considered problem drug users or categorized as having a drug use disorder. To further streamline the fight against the scourge in Zambia, government, with support from the UN Country Office and other cooperating partners, has launched the National Policy on Drug and Substance Control. Speaking during the launch in Lusaka, UN Resident Coordinator Beatrice Muntari says consequences of drug and substance abuse are far-reaching, hence the need to unite in addressing the scourge.
In Africa, the number of drug users is projected to rise by 40% in the next decade, simply because of demographic changes. Young populations are the most vulnerable to using drugs and are also more severely affected by drug use disorders in several regions.
Officiating as guest of honor at the event, Minister of Home Affairs and Internal Security Jack Mwimbu outlined some of the functions of the policy.
It is this in mind that the national policy on drug substance control has been developed to guide decision-making and action on achieving positive outcomes for individuals and society as a whole.
Mr. Mwimbu has since urged families in the country to instill good morals and values in children to help curtail the surging cases of drug abuse among youths.
As government, we acknowledge with concern that the increase in young people indulging in drugs and substance abuse is a sign that the family, which is the most important unit in society, has dropped its guard. The greatest investment we should make for the future is through our children and youth. This is why it is important for the family to rekindle its values.
Kanyama constituency Member of Parliament Moti Chinkuli, whose area houses Wera compound, infamous for drug and substance abuse, was on hand to welcome the launch of the policy.
With this policy that has come, I would want to urge each and every one of us to be part of this fight. International community, stakeholders, all line ministries, if all of us come together, in fact including us as parents, because these who are abusing these drugs are our children.
For Camnet TV News, Afias Kaptula, Lusaka.
Alright, issues of drug abuse there, Mr. Kaptula, were on hand to witness this launch. Just what does this mean in terms of fighting drug abuse in our communities?
I think it means a further streamlined efforts in terms of ensuring that this issue of drug and substance abuse is tackled. What that policy entails is that currently there are no that in terms of mechanisms that we didn't have something in place to guide in terms of how you put in place mechanisms to ensure that you fight the issue of drug and substance abuse. What the policy therefore is going to provide is that there are going to be guidance in terms of actions, in terms of those that are channeled to managing the issues of drug and substance abuse regulations. You also saw that the Kanyama Member of Parliament was there because Kanyama is infamously known.
Yes.
Some parts of Kanyama, like Chiboda compound, where we've seen a number of raids here and there taking place. But the minister, Mr. Jack Mwimbu, there is talking in terms of the family, that the family should be at the center of ensuring that the right values and morals are instilled in the children to ensure that we curtail the issue of drug and substance abuse, especially among young children, those who are below 15 years. Maybe just to add on, I think we have seen that the issue of junkies, these criminal gangs, it's targeting that age group. It is also because of drug and substance abuse.
Yes, and I think and hope that this will be implemented efficiently, because as Zambia, we're known to be a country where we are good at making laws, and when it comes to implementation, I don't think we do that much.
Yeah, I think looking from the takeoff, I'm optimistic that something will be done, because there was the UN, their country office.
Okay.
There are also some media firm from Chivolia there. There's some youths who have come up with a group of trying to teach youths in terms of staying away from drugs, and also there are some church leaders there. I think the takeoff, if it is carried away like that, something good will come out.
That must be appreciated.
Oh yeah, I think we did mention that we're going to have a guest in the studio today. As you know, it's business, and today we are discussing entrepreneurship and innovation. We have in the studio Mr. Edwin Ngwane, who is a founder and CEO of Kawiwi, which is a market app. So he's going to talk about himself. Good morning.
Good morning, Isatis. How are you?
I'm okay. How are you?
I'm very well.
We are glad that you could find time to join us this morning.
It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure too.
Just for starters, before we get into the nitty-gritties of the issues, who is Mr. Edwin Ngwane?
So Edwin Ngwane is a former banker for 10 years and author. I've authored 3 books: Hustle Like a West African, How to Market and Sell Like a Prostitute, and Flip the Coin. And now I'm a full-time entrepreneur now. With businesses here and there, but today I'm here for Kawiwi, which is an online marketplace for Zambia, which gives services such as taxi booking, shopping, parcel delivery, car rental, as well as food delivery and medicine delivery. So basically we are an all-in-one marketplace where you can do almost everything. Yes.
Talking about entrepreneurship, how did you get into this field of entrepreneurship? Because in as much as they talk entrepreneurship, to many people it sounds as a cliche, and many don't even want to go into it. We just want to get into school, we are in a suit, we get into that office.
Yeah. So when it comes to entrepreneurship, we need to realize that it's a hard pill to swallow, because you are going to fail many times. You're going to lose your capital. You're going to be in a position where you're not very comfortable, because entrepreneurship is very uncomfortable. For the very first time, you realize that it's an uncomfortable place. So I understand why somebody might think twice before they jump into entrepreneurship. I'm not somebody who pushes people into entrepreneurship when they are not ready. I believe that you need to become an entrepreneur when you feel that you are okay with biting the bullet, and you are ready if the bullet kills you, because entrepreneurship can actually do that to you, because it will push you in a direction where you didn't anticipate. So for me, my driver was, how can I be part and parcel of the development agenda of this country? Not to wait for somebody to develop the country for me or my life for me. I told myself, you know what, let me be part of the people that creates employment. Let me be part of the people that develop companies. Let me be part of those people that are going to say, you know what, we drove this country from one place to another and contribute to the development of this country. And when I just, realized that I can do this at the same time, make money, I was like, oh, let me jump into it. It's not going to be easy, but I'll do it.
All right. Looking at the business environment in the country, there is competition. We're in a globalized village.
Absolutely.
You are not just competing with entrepreneurs who are in Zambia.
Yes.
You're also competing with entrepreneurs also in Europe. How has been your experience looking at the local setup in terms of policies and just other things around that?
So I've been an advocate for some time of creating favorable policies for entrepreneurs in Zambia. There are permits I do not agree with, like so many council permits. You find that the cost of all the permits put together, just from council alone, they add up to 5,000 plus. I believe that is a surest way of killing a young entrepreneur, because let's talk about it. Zambians, how much capital do they have? They have that kind of amount. It's 5,000 and all that. Those are policies. Let's talk about lending. If you look at lending, like structured lending in Zambia from these microfinance, it's very expensive. You're talking about 72% per annum. How can you pay back? Because where are you going to make profits of 72% per year? There is no business that is going to make that kind of money and pay back loans in that kind of amounts. It's very ridiculous. So those things, government must come in and make sure that lending for entrepreneurs, when they introduced the Busulu loans or these loans by CEC, I was excited. I was like, but also those loans, I don't know the criteria they're using. They don't communicate to people who apply. Very few people are accessing them. And you can just see that it's all political fast. Like, it's really not happening. All those things are tools you can use to empower small businesses. The other one is just creating an easy way. It's just an easy way, like how can we lower the cost of doing business? Recently we had Trade Kings complaining about the cost of production. How can we lower that? It's by reducing things like the exchange rate. We're talking about, because the exchange rates caters to a lot of things. Rentals in Zambia are paid in dollars. So you find that that becomes a huge cost for you. Most businesses in Zambia are importing. Like we import. Whether they're talking about manufacturing or just importing, it's expensive. Why? Because the exchange rate is up there. So there are so many things that we can do as people together, but also government must play its role in ensuring there's a conducive environment for pushing businesses up. Otherwise, if we're just going to leave it to businesses and say, hey, no, they'll sort it out themselves, it's hard. And very few people will be interested in getting into entrepreneurship. Now the problem is, if very few people are interested into going into entrepreneurship, then everyone will be looking for a job from government. How will the government create all jobs for everyone?
It's impossible. That is the challenge, obviously, right there. Well, we're watching Camnet TV Breakfast Show, and we have just got into the interview segment where Mr. Edwin Ngwane, founder and CEO of Kawiwi, which is a marketing application there, is just helping us discuss in terms of entrepreneurship and innovation. You can be part of this program area where we are zooming in some headline stories. You can call in, have a say on what we are discussing, and also the stories that we are zoomed in area. You use the numbers on your screen to have your say there. Maybe Vincent, you can chip in with one or two.
Yeah, my interest is to get how you are finding it in terms of support from Zambians, because mostly we are known to embrace innovations that come from outside the country. How do you get this? How are you getting the support?
I have to be honest that yes, there is that perception that Zambian products are not up to standard. That perception is always there. We are going to deal with it, with time. I think it also comes from ourselves as entrepreneurs, where we have failed to satisfy our people in the past. So because of our previous experiences, because look, I think people don't just get to the point where they're saying, you know what, these Zambian products don't work. It starts with one entrepreneur failing customers, one entrepreneur disappointing Zambians, one entrepreneur providing fake products, fake things. And then you create a narrative for every entrepreneur in Zambia or for every business in Zambia. But that comes from somewhere. So we are not going to blame the Zambians that, hey, Zambians do not support local businesses. It's also up to us as local businesses. Maybe we have an attribute of letting our people down. However, we should continue to urge our Zambians to say, you know what, when you support a Zambian business, yes, they might have failed, yes, they might have not delivered, but if you support them through the journey, whether we like it or not, at the end of the day, that Zambian business doing fine is good for the country. Because a foreign business, when they come here, their main goal is to extract all the resources and take them to their country and build their country. For a Zambian, they are going to build houses here in Zambia. They are going to build offices right here in Zambia. Whether they buy cars, they are going to buy cars here in Zambia. Whether they like prostitutes, they'll get the prostitutes in Zambia. Whether they like beer, they'll drink the beer that is in Zambia. Whatever they are going to do, whether they are reckless with that money, guess what? They will do it here in Zambia. So the money will end up where? Here in Zambia. But if we do not support our own local businesses, then we are giving that money to the foreigners. The foreigners are going to take the money and go build their own nations. Then how long will it take for us to realize that at the end of the day, it's up to a Zambian to build Zambia. And to build Zambia, there must be collective efforts, like all of us coming together, you, my brother, and him, putting our help. It could be just buying from our app, it could be downloading our app, just downloading the app and say, let's see what Kawiwi is all about. That is support enough. Maybe you might not even use it towards Sunday, but just downloading the app is support enough. Using the app is support enough. Because we are employing people. We have employees. Where do you think those employees are getting the money from? They are getting from Kawiwi being operational. And if we are operational as Kawiwi, then we create more jobs, and we pay taxes that are going to help the country to develop. Then we are going to expand into new offices, pay rentals in those offices, or build our own offices. All that is development. So at the end of the day, there is a responsibility of two people. One, the entrepreneur, satisfying and not disappointing Zambians. Two, the Zambians themselves also giving a chance like to businesses like ours, Kawiwi, to say, hey, Kawiwi, we will give you a chance. We will try you. And that's all we're asking for. Give us a chance as entrepreneurs in Zambia and say, hey, we can support you.
Okay, another concern has been the issue of quality and pricing.
Yes.
You find a Zambian, I'll mention away from technology issues, you find a Zambian who go in a shop and they'll find, let's say, peanut butter manufactured in Zambia and the other one manufactured in South Africa, but the price is the same. That's the pricing issue there comes in terms of one thing is imported, the other thing is manufactured here. Why should we have such
discrepancies?
Yes.
Actually, I like that question. I was having this having this discussion. I think recently we were talking about what were we talking about? We were talking about these suits. This suit that I'm wearing. I got mine from Nigeria, and there are Zambians who are able to do this.
Yes.
Okay. So when I got this, we were having a chat because personally I believe in supporting our locals. So I went to a local person and I told him, how much would you charge me to have this suit? And he was like, no, 2.5. I was like, you know how much I got it from Nigeria? I said, he said, no. I said, I got it for 1.5. Then he was like, oh. And I was like, yeah. And look, it's good quality. Now, why am I paying 1,000 plus more to you when it's locally produced? There is no shipping cost. There is nothing. And he was like, you know what? It's the material costs, the what cost, this cost. So at the end of the day, it gets back to our area discussion. Our local policies here in Zambia are not favorable for a business owner in Zambia. So you find that most of the costs that are added to the local price have something to do with what entrepreneurs go through right here in our homes. In certain countries, there are certain things that are waived. Therefore, they are waived for entrepreneurs to thrive. Like they will say deliberately, they will say, you know what, let that entrepreneur, because they are startups, or maybe because they are in this area. Those things we give foreigners, tax breaks, tax holidays. Those we give to foreigners. In other countries, they are given to locals. But here in Zambia, we do the opposite. We tax the locals and give tax holidays to foreigners. The opposite is what we do. So that is the reason why you find that a Zambian will struggle. Why will he struggle? Because he has no incentives to reduce their cost. So you find that their cost of production, their cost of doing business is very high. And yet comes a foreigner, he's given tax holidays, he's given favorable conditions because we are wooing them for investments, right? They find that for them doing business here, it becomes actually very easy than you, a local, doing business in your own country. So those are some of the things. So as Zambians, we need to find a way. How can we support a local business so that they become highly competitive? Because if an importer or a foreign good is competing with a local produce, then we're in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
Then we're in trouble.
One of the key, perhaps the major issue with innovation and entrepreneurship is having solutions to challenges of our time. We have seen that some drivers who are using some of these online applications, especially those who are in taxi business, they're having challenges in terms of pricing and those issues. You have an innovation which is also running the Kawiwi app. How does your app answer to some of these challenges?
Okay, so we realized as Kawiwi that our competitors, their main focus has been to appease the customers, like make sure that it's very good for customers in terms of pricing, and they've thrown the drivers and the riders under the bus. Like they've actually sacrificed the drivers at the expense of customers. So customers are getting a good deal, like they're enjoying, these prices, low prices, but at the expense of who? The drivers.
So customers should not be excited.
I'll tell you where this whole pricing model at the end of the day doesn't work.
Mm-hmm.
Because you see, right now, what's happening with our competitors is, first of all, customers are being shouted in those taxis, they're being treated badly by drivers, they're insulted in those taxis. Why? Why is that happening? It's happening because these drivers are angry.
Mm-hmm.
They're angry because they're not getting a good deal out of driving this taxi on these online taxi apps. They're very angry. Why have we gotten to a point where we have made drivers and riders angry? It's because they are not getting a good deal. So what we have done ourselves as Kawiwi is we sat down and said, you know what? The only sustainable way is to have a fair deal between customers and drivers and riders. How? I'll give you an example. If I ask you, you're a driver, and I ask you, how much would you want to charge for taxi? And you tell me, oh, you know what? I would want to charge 40 kwacha. I ask the customer, hey, how much would you want to pay for this taxi? And the customer says, you know what? I would like to pay 30 kwacha. There is a discrepancy here, right?
Mm-hmm.
But what about if we meet at the middle and say, you know what? You add a 5, and for you, accept a 5 less. Isn't that a good deal for both?
Yeah, it is.
It is a good deal. At least it is a good deal where the driver accepts a reduction in the amount a bit and the customer pays a little bit more. The business environment right now is hard. Also, I understand it's hard for citizens.
Mm-hmm.
But these cars that are on the road carrying people around, they need to be serviced, they need fuel, they need insurance, they need to be kept in a good condition. Mm-hmm. And this can only happen if the drivers are also paid accordingly. So as Kawiwi, our job, and this is a policy. For us, it's just a policy, a company policy that for us, it's a fair deal between drivers and customers. Both of them should be smiling as they, the driver is leaving the taxi says, that was good. And the customer is also like, oh, I got a good deal. Not killing one person over the other.
So your innovation, apart from what is obtaining on the ground, your innovation is having a platform where people can negotiate directly.
Absolutely. So like even our pricing model, the way we've done it is actually we look at so many dynamics. Like if there is a fuel increase right now, we are not going to lower our pricing. What we are doing is we are going to look at the pricing model right now and make adjustments. Like if you go to our app right now, you find that the pricing for drivers is good. The pricing for customers is also good. So like it's a favorable for everyone. You are going to add a little bit as a customer. Mm-hmm. The driver is also going to get something. We don't want to sacrifice drivers over customers. They both need to get a fair share of a deal. It has to be a fair deal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Just perhaps on a general perspective in terms of these issues of innovations, there are many innovators out there, but there is the drive. What can be your word as we go towards the end of the program in terms of those who are into these innovations, and just your word of encouragement?
So for me, if I was to advise anybody who maybe they're interested in going into these businesses of innovation, the very first thing that we need to talk about is, first of all, let's provide solutions to our people. And when I say our people, I mean inclusive, all people, educated, uneducated. There are so many needs. We will never get out of technology. Technology is here to stay because it connects us. My mother is in Chipata, I am here. There must be a way we must connect. Now there's WhatsApp, there's Facebook, there's so many things that we do because of technology, and we're able to relate more. But that doesn't end there. People are doing business using these same technological products like ours. You're able to shop. I'm sure you're aware that doing business using online has been, it has had the challenges with scams and this and that. We as Kawiwi, we have created a platform where when you buy, you are in Katete, you are in Chama, wherever you are, or you are in Itesh, you can buy something from Kawiwi and you are guaranteed that it will be delivered. If it is not delivered, Kawiwi is going to refund you the full amount. So those are kind of technological products that solves a problem. Which problem is, there is a problem of somebody wanting sneakers in Lusaka. They are cheaper, but then he's failing to buy because he's thinking, how will I get this product? But Kawiwi is saying, you know what, you can shop online, have your sneakers delivered in Itesh Station. We have a courier company that is that operates on Kawiwi, and it will deliver in Itesh Station. So these solutions, we need more of them, because at the end of the day, it makes our lives better, it makes the lifestyle easier, and it makes everything just better. And the more we have a better life for ourselves and everybody as citizens, it's good for business. And it's good for our livelihoods, and we're gonna enjoy this Zambia that we call our home. Yeah.
You want to add something?
Maybe out of curiosity, how many subscribers do you have?
Currently, we are going to 5,000 plus in terms of customers, and when we look at drivers, we've got more than 1,000 drivers on our platform. We have more than 600 vendors. These are people that are selling products. We have a number of them. So whether you're looking for school uniforms, you're looking for stationery, and I'm talking about cheaper products. Stationery, you're looking for what? Clothes, fashion. You're looking for medicine, delivery, food, and everything. You just go to Kawiwi and you find there is going to be somebody to provide to sell you those products.
How long have you been operating?
We've been in operation since December. So we've been in business only from December. That's when we started our app, and so far so good. It's been a very good journey. The response is great. We had feedback from customers. The other thing is, you asked me about what entrepreneurs should do. The other thing is being flexible, because when we started, there was a certain belief that we had that this is what is good for Zambians. But then as we were launching, Zambians also gave their feedback and say, you know what, change this, change that, make this better, look at that. And then we're able to now customize and create a better life. Right now, I can tell you that we've created a much better product with the support and advice of Zambians. They are the ones who have actually told us, change that, make that better, and we will keep on improving to the point where we want, when Zambians are using our app, they should be like, okay, this is a Zambian product, but we love it.
Okay, so you came from banking.
Yes.
I would like to know what inspiration you got to go into innovations like that.
So when I was working for the bank, one of the things that the bank was going through was digital transformation. If you remember, banking was more of how many branches do we have. Actually, banks used to brag a lot about, we have more than 32 branches. I remember Finance Bank back then was the one that had a number of branches across the country. That was their biggest, flex. Like they would flex.
It was a strength.
They had a strength. they were bragging about it. Like, we have 32 branches. But that doesn't mean you're going to save more customers. So the bank I was working for, Standard Chartered Bank, took a digital, spin, and they were like, okay, why don't we create an app where everybody across the country will be able to open an account and use it? And that's how they created the bank. Guess what? I was part of the digital ambassadors at that same time. I bought into the digital agenda. The transformation of having one digital platform where people can do business, can do banking. When I looked at that and I said, you know what, I'm also going to create my own digital platform where we will do business, we will do everything. If banking is allowed, we even include a bank right on Kawiwi, so that we have Kawiwi Bank and start lending to our vendors at cheaper price, cheaper lending rates. But this is a start. Our vision is very clear and it's big. We will get there, but it's one step at a time. We know where we are going, but the most important thing is we want to help our businesses to thrive. We want to give them a platform to sell across the country, if possible, across the globe.
All right, that is awesome, and it is something that people out there should consider.
Yeah.
To ensure that when you get into this entrepreneurship, you keep focused and also learning. I think that are some of the things that have come out of this discussion, that the business had to learn from its clients to ensure that they come up with a better product. Maybe you can give us an update on that on your head. When are you going? You seem to be
maybe we can get a free ride.
Free ride to Intrala ceremony. Yes, we would like to be part of the Intrala ceremony. I'm going, and I know the Intrala ceremony is coming on the 25th of February. And I thought, you know what? Why not promote the culture? Remember, I said we need to promote our Zambian ways of life. This is our country. We have to make it better. No one is going to make Zambia better for you or for you. No one. I'm telling you, this is a fact. The only person who's going to make Zambia better is ourselves. So we have to be part of the Intrala ceremony, support it. As Kawiwi, we are so geared. We want to be part of the Intrala ceremony and do whatever we can in our small way to promote culture and traditional ceremonies. So this is the headgear for the Intrala ceremony. We are ready.
That's very important. You know, tourism is and should be with the major earners of this country as we diversify our economy. It has been an awesome discussion, and we must thank you for making time to come to this program, helping us discuss entrepreneurship and innovation. We love your journey, and we wish you all the best in your business.
Thank you very much. It's been a pleasant conversation.
All right. Well, we have come to the end of the program on this morning's edition of Camnet TV, where we focus on business. We did also zoom in other stories, but the conversation continues. Vincent, today we didn't even check our online platform.
Wow, let me just
in a minute you can do that. It's very important.
Just try to check what's there. They might feel we are neglecting them.
Yeah, it's very important. Just to get even one or two comments.
Okay. So,
are you there?
I am there. This one is coming from Kinsley Mashira, saying, "Good morning, guys. We are together." Then Stanislaus Munene just said, "Wow." Okay. Then the Zambian vocalist. No, this one I think you can ignore it. I think that's what you have for now.
No, I think we are glad that we had people also watching us on Facebook. Remember that this transmission is also live on YouTube. On behalf of myself, Afias Kaptua Nelson, our guest also, Mr. Edwin.
Before you proceed,
yes,
I think from here you should prepare a lawyer.
I should prepare a lawyer.
Yeah, I'm suing you.
Wow, you guys are listeners.
Oh,
okay. Anyway, I mentioned someone else.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. On behalf of myself, Afias, and also our guest, Mr. Edwin Ngwane, Vincent was co-hosting with me. Our director of transmission was Mr. Elijah Chifita. Till next time, bye-bye.